Hi, So today we're going to be going over Taiji Sawada's murder. I actually wrote everything down here, whatever I could find. What I can say is there's a bunch of recycled information, but there are some theories out there. A lot of people don't believe that his death was a suicide. And from what I understand, I don't really feel like it was a suicide either, because they said that Taiji basically killed himself by hanging himself by a bed sheet, and I'm like, in a jail cell, really? No. But basically, what I found out was a few couple days before his death, he had a argument with his manager Katami Terumi, and he was detained on a plane because he was getting physical, and then he was taken into custody and then died later on in jail. But they found him unconscious, and then he became brain dead, and then next thing you know, he was actually dead. So yeah, I did read one theory or one thing that Katami was basically embezzling money or something like that. Basically, she was embezzling money to his spiritual guru, whose name was Shinzo, to in some sort of way to keep her as his manager, right? As far as Yoshiki is concerned, now one thing I do know is that they are both water signs. Taiji's a Cancer, and then Yoshiki is a Scorpio. One thing I didn't know about Scorpio men is that they have a tendency to mess things up. I don't know why, but that's just a thing that I've noticed. They just have a tendency to mess things up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a general, what is the energy around this whole situation? And then I will get into the tarot and then the other oracle cards. Okay? Spirit. So what is the energy? Also, I will say, this is a redo video. The first one, it was about almost an hour long, but then my phone ran out of space and basically it stopped it. But at the same time, I felt like I somewhat was not connected, because I didn't eat, and that kind of affects how I do stuff. So more so of a lack of energy. But what I can say is the main thing that came up was nothing more but money and control and jealousy surrounding his murder or his death. So, what is the main energies surrounding Taiji Sawada's death? What's the main energies surrounding Taiji Sawada's death? Participation. I just moved out. What are the main energies surrounding his death? The main energies surrounding his death. The lovers. What are the main energies surrounding his death? Clinging to the past. What's the main energies surrounding his death? Intensity. What are the main energies surrounding his death? Creativity. What are the main energies surrounding his death? Understanding. What are the main energies surrounding his death? Past lives. What are the main energies surrounding his death? Okay, suppression and flowering. Clinging to the past, intensity. I'm going to take out an extra card since one wanted to flop out. One more. One thing, I do have a repeat card here, which would be participation. Okay, rightness. All right. So this is the main energies that happen. Now, one thing I did pick up, maybe something about love too. I do have the lovers and then clinging to the past. This is indicative of the 5 of Cups. But the lovers often talks about a connection, a very spiritual connection. And then you have here clinging to the past. So from what I understand, that Taiji did have some problems in his past, including maybe love failing for him. I do understand that he was married during the time of his death. So maybe the memory of a loved one here with clinging to the past, or maybe clinging to how things used to be. With here participation, this is Four of Wands. This could represent him collaborating with many different people during his projects and in his career. Also surrounding his death, maybe there was a group of people, more than likely, no doubt, that basically participated in contributing to how he died or why he died, perhaps. With this, but this talks about participation and collaboration, cooperation, basically, being able to work together. Intensity and creativity are out here. Maybe he was like a very creative person, came up with a lot of ideas, helped a lot of people here. The intensity could talk about his emotions, maybe how intense, of course, quite literal, how intense his emotions were, how much he was into his work, or maybe the problem itself, whoever he was dealing with or whatever he was dealing with, a very forceful, powerful energy here. Something that can easily, how would I say this, maybe shroud your mind and your sense of reality. Something that can overpower you is what I'm trying to get. Understanding. Here with the birds. I like to view this as somewhat as a gate, but it's not. But this understanding here. Maybe talking to other people, conversing with other people here, trying to really come to terms with how things are in his life, maybe. Maybe he would like for people to treat him more fairly or understand him more, to really see where he's coming from. And then past lives here. This could also be karmic. We have many karmic soulmates, and they don't necessarily have to be love. It can also be friends and family. But past lives. Maybe this could also basically be pointing to, this is a situation that has basically come over from another life, from a previous lifetime that he had. Because in this lifetime, of course, he was a singer. He was in a band. He collaborated with many other people. But he also had problems with people and greed and control. So, again, another lesson to be learned, maybe. Lessons. And then here's suppression. Suppressing how one feels. Trying to cover it up. Maybe appearing out to public like he's fine in one way. But maybe behind closed doors he was harboring some very dark, negative feelings. Could be. I don't know why it's doing that. Sorry. Wait 1 minute. Okay, making sure because... Alright. Just had to check my phone percentage. Flowering. Ripeness. Flowering. This is basically blossoming. This is blossoming into a person. This is basically, this is peace. This is enjoyment. But flowering, like really, something's really flowering here. Something's really growing. Something's really blossoming. Not the situation itself, but maybe things unfolding. That's what this could be. And then here with ripeness, because ripeness is Knight of Pentacles, so working on yourself. But when something's ripe, it means it is the right time to eat something, or the right time to maybe cut into something here. So at the right time, maybe with these two, like at the right time, things are happening for him as well. Maybe during his career. At the right time, things will unfold. At the right time, things will come for you. There are many different possibilities or many things surrounding him. But what I am seeing here is that this was a lesson learned. He was harboring feelings, and this is also 10 of Wands, so dealing with a lot of stress. Most definitely. So now I'm going to get into your questions. Well, yeah. Wait a minute. How much time? Okay, 20 minutes. Alright. I'm going to pull out at least 5 of these cards and see the energy surrounding everything with the death, because it's going to get, this is more detailed. What are the energies, what was surrounding, what are the main factors surrounding Taiji Sawada's death? What are the main energies surrounding Taiji Sawada's death? What are the main energies surrounding his death? Theft. What are the main energies surrounding his death? Rebirth. This did come out the first time, so that's good. What else? What are the main energies surrounding his death? Oh, virulence. What are the main energies surrounding his death? What are the main factors in his death? Should I say? What are the main factors? Ruin, Mouthman. Right, this is the second repeat card. It's Expanse. Theft. I did mention something about embezzlement, which really is theft in a sense. But here, theft. So somebody was stealing maybe money here. Somebody was taking something that wasn't theirs, of course. Somebody was waiting at the right time to do so as well. See, this cat is just peacefully sitting on top of this coffin. So he says, somebody here was waiting at the right time to do something. With Rebirth, I would say for Taiji personally, becoming a new person, shedding away the old skin, becoming a new thing here. Trying to get on the right track, because for some time, from what I read, he did have somewhat of an unlucky streak. Now, virulence, this is when you say something and it kind of makes somebody physically sick. Really bad words. Being insulted, harshly criticized here. But this is something that can make somebody sick. Maybe looking back at what somebody has said or what somebody has done as well, and it can make you physically sick. Maybe not sick as in throw up at times, but maybe could give you anxiety or make you a bit nauseous or make you feel some sort of way that you don't really feel good about yourself, or you feel very sad and depressed. Now with ruin here, maybe somebody here wanted to ruin his image or ruin him. Maybe he wanted to ruin somebody else. I can't really pinpoint. But the Mothman, we all know, like, he basically took down a bridge. So maybe somebody here wanted to, because a bridge is a way of transportation, of getting from one side to another. Somebody did not want him reaching a certain, somebody basically wanted to stop him from reaching something, possibly. So they had to find some way to ruin him, maybe. Maybe his career was ruined. And then here with expansion, you know, spreading out to different areas, branching off to other sectors, conjoining, basically, expanding one's empire. This energy of trying to cover things and take over. Alright, I got that done. I'm going to answer your questions. Just going to pull out 5 cards for each. So your first question was, you know, basically, what are the reasons and circumstances and the people behind his death? And you're wondering if there's suicide. So I'm going to see, what were the main factors in Taiji Sawada's death? Spirit, what are the main factors? Who are the people involved? People that basically did this. Alright, 3 of Swords. Libra energy. Seven of Swords reverse, Aquarius. Queen of Swords, Libra, I believe. Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. There's a lot of air here, so maybe there's an air sign involved. Five of Swords here, Aquarius again. A lot of conflict. There's a lot of conflict, and maybe somebody here felt very hurt or frustrated, or maybe even betrayed, because somebody here, with this Seven of Swords, somebody here got caught in the act of doing something. The Seven of Swords can be theft. It can be deceit, lies, trickery, backstabbing, be a very sneaky, cunning energy. Somebody who basically backs away from the scene of the crime. They sneak away from it. They don't want to get caught. What else? King of Wands, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. Knight of Swords, air energy. There's a lot of air here. There's an air sign that's very prevalent in this. Or somebody here has a lot of air in their chart. Ace of Swords, I kid you not. And then Seven of Cups reverse. So that would be Scorpio. That's Seven of Cups. If I can pick up a storyline just by surveying the cards here. Somebody here went to war with another person from what I'm seeing. Because somebody here found out something. Somebody found out something, that somebody did something very sneaky. Somebody lied, somebody stole, somebody cheated, somebody out of something here. Somebody got caught. And so you have here this Queen of Swords. Now this Queen of Swords does not necessarily have to be a woman. The cards are not gender specific. So you can, and besides that, you can literally take over any zodiac sign's energy, literally. But the Queen of Swords is a very intelligent person. Somebody that knows how to use their words. Can be very cutting and could be looked at as cold. But what I'm seeing here is that somebody here, possibly with this Five of Swords, went to war. Possibly there's a lot of conflict here. A lot of ego surrounding it. And then here you have this King of Wands. There's this fire sign here. But also what I'm seeing here, somebody here, maybe some sort of anger. But with these three cards, the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and then the Seven of Cups, somebody here was going to deliver the truth about something. Somebody here was going to cut through the bullshit and the confusion. Somebody here was not playing around, is what I'm getting here. And the Knight of Swords is something that is a very abrupt energy. Can be reckless at times, but this is a person that comes in writing in fast. It's the fastest knight in the deck. Now, why is the Seven of Swords reverse? Six of Swords reverse. This is not being able to move on completely. This is confusion. This could be also holding back a bit. Why else is the Seven of Swords reverse? Two of Swords. This also came out. So this is a decision that needs to be made, or some sort of confusion. Maybe somebody here was not allowing somebody to completely move forward, and they were hiding some sort of information, perhaps. Why is this Two of Swords here? The Six of Wands. So this being very successful, this is overcoming. This is basically coming out on top. So the thing is, somebody here got caught doing something, and maybe they weren't allowed to fully move on towards from it, and maybe what they got caught. I'm trying to see, because this Two of Swords, this is not being able to, well, not being able to, but some sort of confusion over some sort of success. Maybe somebody here was hiding something. Somebody was hiding something. I don't know what they were hiding, but somebody was hiding something. I'm going to see What's this Ace of Swords about? Why is the Ace of Swords there? Because that's clarity. The Star reverse. Why else is the Ace of Swords here? Eight of Swords reverse. So this is setting yourself free from something here that can keep you trapped and bound. This is setting yourself free from your own mind. So somebody was cutting themselves loose from something here that was unfulfilling. Also with a Star reverse, maybe somebody felt like hope was lost. They lost their wish fulfillment. They lost what made them happy. They really need peace and healing. But I'm getting, right? Because the thing is, somebody here definitely is not confused anymore. It's more so somebody trying to keep somebody else stuck. And somebody was not taking that. Somebody was putting their foot down about that. They were going to fight about it. There was going to be some sort of conflict surrounding it. Just going to see what. But with that Ace of Swords, it's some sort of clarity that sets somebody free. And it's this sort of clarity that kind of dashes somebody's hopes as well, maybe. Why is the Star in reverse? The Chariot. This is not being able to move forward. This is staying stuck. This is being stagnant. This is coming to a halt. Maybe somebody, again, wanted to keep somebody stuck here. And if they did, they know that that person would feel pretty much depressed. Feel like they can't do anything. Feel like what they're working towards, they'll never fully achieve their goal. It's very hard to pinpoint, but the Hierophant came out. So this could deal with law. This could deal with a higher level of commitment. Maybe even a contract that one is assigned to. I'll see about that one later. Why is the Five of Swords here? The Page of Wands. That's good news. That's good news. Why is the Page of Wands here? Why is the Page of Wands here? The Queen of Cups reverse. This is a very emotional person. This is somebody that does not know how to control their emotions. This can also be somebody that's dramatic. Okay. I think somebody was pulling somebody's tail. Because that Page of Wands is somebody that's optimistic and very adventurous. Somebody that looks forward to new horizons. And then you have here this Queen of Cups. It's more so of a thing of maybe enticing somebody. Not enticing, but what's that word that I'm looking for? Maybe egging somebody on, maybe encouraging something here. Why is this King of Wands here? The Hangman in reverse. So this King of Wands making sacrifices or becoming enlightened. But this King of Wands was possibly sacrificing himself here. Making a needless sacrifice. Why is this Hangman in reverse? Why is this Hangman in reverse? Four of Pentacles. By holding on to something, by holding something in that they shouldn't have held in. Somebody here, basically with this Hangman reverse and the Four of Pentacles, holding on to something, because the Hangman is also about enlightenment, being very enlightened, being aware. Something here that they need to let go of, and possibly with this Knight of Swords, you know, this is more so of really cutting through something here. And coming at something viciously, coming at something or somebody very viciously, and delivering some sort of truth about why somebody was stuck, why somebody couldn't really achieve what they wanted to achieve here. And it's basically setting that person free and basically cutting through the confusion here with the Seven of Cups reverse. Now, why is the Hierophant in reverse? Why is this Hierophant in reverse? The Fool. I feel like somebody here entered into some sort of commitment. Foolishly, maybe. or they did so without really checking to see what was at the bottom. Too busy looking at the sun that they forgot that there was a moon. The moon hides stuff. Too busy looking at what's going to be good that you're not looking at maybe any side effects, should I just say. So somebody blindly entering into something. Why is the Fool here? The World. This is beginning a new cycle and ending cycles. Maybe somebody here wanted to end a contract, or did not see that something here was going to come to an end with the cycle here. With the World. It's very hard to pinpoint. It's kind of hard to pinpoint somewhat. Let me ask another question. But I'm seeing mainly an air sign, a lot of air here that caused it. That was a part of it. Everybody else, there was not really another person that I could pinpoint or that I could search up here. Everything else is pretty much the same online. Did this have something to do with money? Did this have something to do with money? Did his death, Ten of Swords reversed, did his death have something to do with money? Ten of Pentacles reversed, did his death have something to do with money? Nine of Pentacles. I think so. This Ten of Swords is basically getting over maybe a betrayal or some sort of hurtful, painful ending that destabilized the foundation here. Getting over something here that really took a toll on you, that took a financial toll on you as well here. Somebody stabbed somebody in the back, and having to be on one's own again and build up and basically, become stable on oneself again and build things up for themselves. This has to deal with stability. With this Four of Wands, a card of commitment, marriage, stability. And then this Knight of Wands could be this reckless energy that came in. Why is the Knight of Wands here? Knight of Swords here. The Hermit. This is more so somebody coming out of the shadows. Somebody came out of the woodwork. Why is the Hermit? No. Why else is the Knight of Swords here? The Seven of Pentacles. This also came up. Something about an investment. Somebody coming out of the woodwork, or maybe coming after something that somebody invested in. Because somebody here also was becoming very stable and grounded. So it did have something to do with money. Somebody was possibly coming after another person's assets or what they were building up. Alright. I'll give myself 12 more minutes. And then, let's see. I'm going to see what his relationship was like with Yoshiki Hayashi. Now, what I can tell you from the first time that I did it, basically, Yoshiki was greedy here. Yoshiki was greedy, and once he really realized the errors of his ways, he apologized, I believe, and offered to help people out because he caused a lot of financial setbacks, from what I saw. Now, if you're being able to see anything about finances online, not that I'm aware of, what was Taiji's and Yoshiki's relationship like? Three of Cups. King of Swords reverse. Knight of Wands. What's their relationship like? Seven of Swords. So if this came up, the first question to see, so maybe Yoshiki did have something to do with his murder. What else? Five of Swords again. What else was the relationship like? Ten of Swords. Page of Wands. The Judgment reverse. there was definitely a betrayal. I read something that Taiji wrote in a memoir. The reason why he was basically told to leave was because he confronted Yoshiki about receiving way more money, basically, than the rest of the uh, band members did. But what I'm seeing here, you have the 7 of Swords, 5 of Swords, and then this 10 of Swords here. There was definitely a betrayal. Somebody here was being sneaky. Somebody was stealing. Somebody was doing something very deceitful here due to their own ego. But also, there was conflict here. But it ended up in somebody feeling very hurt and betrayed by another person. Also, death. Another way death can be spotted in tarot is by this 10 of Swords. And you know that this king did not... This is also the King of Swords here. This is the same... These are the same 2 people. But we know that he did not put these swords in his back. But the thing is, what I'm seeing here with this 3 of Cups, maybe they had fun times together. They partied a lot. I had a lot of get-togethers here. But maybe that took a turn for the worse, because with this King of Swords here, maybe somebody had to close themselves off, but also maybe somebody was becoming somewhat tricky and manipulative. And it caused somebody with this Knight of Wands to put their guard up and be very defensive, wanting to fend off themselves, because somebody here did a very sneaky action. Now with this Page of Wands, the Page of Wands is more so of communications, but also can be like an offer. Can also be passionate communication. But also here with this Judgment in reverse, this is self-doubt, but also receiving very harsh judgment for one's deeds. I'm going to see, why is this Page of Wands here? So that, again, like what I saw from the first time, they were good up until a certain point, and then there was a lot of friction and betrayal between the both of them. I can't tell who did what. Maybe it was Yoshiki that did the most of it. But somebody here, it ended very painfully with this 10 of Swords. Somebody here felt very betrayed. Why is this Page of Wands here? The Chariot. I feel like it's more so of a distraction. I just got that. I just feel it's a distraction of some sort. Somebody got distracted. And that Chariot is Cancer. Sawada is a Cancer. And again, there's this air energy here. There's an air sign involved in his death. I will say that much. There is an air sign involved in his death. The reasons for his death is because he was trying to set himself free from something that somebody here... the thing is, he was just trying to set himself free from maybe a contract or something. I don't know. And somebody didn't want that. And then also something about greed. There's money involved. Why else is this Page of Wands here? 7 of Wands. This is defensive communication. Somebody being very defensive. The thing is here. Somebody, because the thing is, this Page of Wands is somebody on an adventure. Somebody that's very optimistic. And he's been stopped in his tracks. So what he's going to do is, and he's been stopped purposefully, what he's going to do is he's going to stand up for himself and hold his own. But with this page, with this Judgment, maybe he was felt bad for doing so. Why is this Judgment in reverse? This Queen of Wands. This came out too. Why is this Queen of Wands in reverse? That's a very jealous, bitter individual. This Knight of Cups. Somebody here who possibly was drinking a lot. This person received some sort of harsh judgment, but this person is not very content with themselves. This person is jealous. This person is very bitter. This person is very unsatisfied with their lives. They can't really make things happen for themselves. This person made a bad decision as well. So that could be Yoshiki. Jealousy and envy, basically, is the basis of his death. I can't pinpoint who did what, but I'm pretty sure there are multiple parties involved in this. Because you have Shinso, you have Kitami, Terumi. I have 5 minutes left. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull some oracle cards and send this to you. What else? Ace of Wands. But somebody here was very exhausted. I will say that much. Somebody here was just facing exhaustion. Felt like they can really bring a new start here. I'm sorry, it's just kind of hard to really connect with this again in a sense. I don't know why I can't really. Usually I can, but with other things it's more so of there's a lot more involved in this. I can say that. There's a lot more involved in this. There's a mixture of energies that's very confusing. There's a lot of confusion around the whole entire situation, which is why I can't really pinpoint that much stuff. If there's confusion within this situation, for me personally, it's going to be hard for me to... It's going to be a bit challenging, should I say, to really make a connection or really connect the dots. There's this confusing energy lingering around, and at the same time a sense of somebody still hiding something. What else? The Temple Path. Thinking Woman. Blossoming Abundance. Patience. Was this even supposed to come out? Because this just kind of flipped over. I'll put that to the side. And let that be an additional message in. What else? Walking away. Yeah, somebody here definitely was trying to walk away. Door to Value. Door to Spirit. Broken Heart. Yes. Okay, fifth chakra. Now, with the Temple Path here, this talks about being led on the right path, going down the right path. Going the right way, which Sawada possibly was, but there's a female in this with the Thinking Woman, a very intelligent woman. So that could have been this Queen of Swords. That could have been the Queen of Swords, or it couldn't have been. I don't know who's who, but there's a woman in here. There's a very smart, intelligent woman in here, and with Blossoming Abundance, I guess you could say he was very growing. He was really growing in his career. Or, again, maybe some sort of money. Because here you have Door to Value. Somebody saw him as a piggy bank. Not a piggy bank. Somebody saw him as a bank, possibly. Something that they just keep taking and taking and taking. You know. Somebody saw him as a gateway to more money. And there's this energy of walking away. So maybe Sawada, of course, wanted to walk away from this. Then you have here Door to Spirit as well. Or maybe he was going to places to where he could get better opportunities. But here with Door to Spirit, that's connecting to the spirit realm, connecting to your guides, God himself, the divine, whoever. Maybe something here was trying to warn him. Something here was trying to warn him. Maybe something here was trying to guide him. Because he did have a spiritual guru, which could have been this guy here, but maybe a thing of being misled. With Broken Heart, I do understand there was a lot of pain in his life. And maybe with the throat chakra card here, not being able to speak up about it or needing to speak up. But there was a lot of pain in his life. A lot of pain to experience. Maybe being cheated out of. Having everybody look down at you. Being depressed. But here with patience and this time, patience. Somebody, again, this energy of somebody was waiting. Somebody was being patient with him, or he was waiting to do something. But to answer your questions, the reasons why, behind why he died, was greed and envy and jealousy. And that's basically that. And there's this woman too. There's this female energy. There's this woman, possibly love interest with this broken heart as well. That was a part of it, or could have been behind the reasons. Also, with me, when I read, I also tend to pick up very past energies, stuff that happened like years and years and years ago. You don't even have to mention the stuff, I'll just bring it up. I don't know how, but it just happens. But this energy of money, door to value, or something here to do with money, which is, believe it or not, a main reason why a lot of celebrities die. And then his band member, ex-band member, Yoshiki, because he confronted him because Yoshiki was basically had more money. And I know some people can't pay themselves. They can. So there was a lot of friction within that relationship. I will say that much. There was just a lot of friction. And there was conflict. And somebody here felt very betrayed. And it was more than likely Sawada that felt betrayed. It was more likely Taiji that felt that way. Yoshiki himself, possibly not. I don't know. But Yoshiki was a piece of work. I'll just say that much. But I hope that I was able to at least get someplace with your questions. Let me know how this resonates, and let me know like your thoughts and feelings and your opinions about this. All right? All right, you have a good day.